Hi guys, my name's Wayne and this is my daughter Abby. This is my dog Denny and she refuses to leave, so she's going to be here too. Anyways, we went to the NXT TV taping last night at Full Sail University, and if you don't want spoilers, turn off the video now. You don't want to watch. However, if you don't care about spoilers or if the TV's tapings have already aired, then feel free to hang out with us. So, it was a fun taping, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. She's a tough critic.
I wanted TM61 and ho-ho.
Yeah, there's no TM61, no ho-ho. And I got a feeling, that they didn't want to give away too many spoilers with Japan coming up, so we don't know who's champ or who's going to be champ at this point. It's going to be Joe. She says Joe. I really hope not.
It's Joe.
But anyway, what happened at the tapings? Well, first of all, Percy Watson's back.
Womp womp.
And surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but the crowd seemed to remember him.
Yeah.
He got a decent pop.
It took me a second to remember him.
Yeah, he's a sassy fella. But he's on commentary.
Yeah.
So your new commentary team, Corey Graves, Tom Phillips, and Percy Watson. So, who knows? We'll know when we watch it on TV. How that goes.
Maybe he's the Byron of NXT now.
Yeah, you gotta have a Byron of NXT. Although I like it with being a Tom. Anyway, dark match was Wesley Blake versus Tien Ben. How do you pronounce his name?
I think it's Tien.
Tien Ben. Bing? Ben?
Bing.
Tien Bing. Anyway, what do you think of Tien?
I like him.
I think he's awesome.
He's teamed with Ho-Ho before.
Yeah,
so.
If you haven't seen him, if you like kicky wrestlers, you'll probably like him. He's got a lot of devastating kicks, strikes, but he's not a small guy. He's a big guy. He's got a lot of power behind him, and so I think it's a good mixture of strikes, kicks, power moves, and I think he's going to do good.
Yeah. He's
a lot of fun to watch. Wesley Blake, still being
he's there.
Beautiful. Right?
Beautiful.
I don't know. What do you think of Wesley Blake?
He's okay. I don't hate him, but...
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but I think he's looking for that something to get him back to where he was. Anyway, it was a nice, short, just exhibition match.
People were kind of rude chanting that they wanted Murphy during his match.
Yeah, they did. And Murphy's, well, that's a whole other story. Murphy's really good. First episode starts. DIY comes out to celebrate their first time back at Full Sail since becoming tag team champions. And the crowd was hyped. They were hyped. They came into the crowd. They celebrated with us.
I died. I'm a ghost.
Yeah, they ran right past us, up into the bleachers. It was pretty cool. I felt good. I felt happy for them. I like DIY. They're definitely in my top 5, and I'll be glad when they're really done feuding with the Revival so I can root for them because the Revival's number 1.
No.
This one disagrees.
Very much so.
It's all about TM61.
And the VODs are better than them both. I miss the VODs.
Who?
The VODs.
Yes, the VODs are a good team if they'd only put them on TV. Anyway, digress. DIY came out, they celebrated, but before they could actually talk, already interrupted by who? Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain. You don't look happy about that. What you think?
I have a problem with them.
How so?
Remember TakeOver?
Yeah, they defeated TM61 and won the Dusty Classic. But they came out basically, and he's all like, "Oh, my Authors of Pain, they're gonna be champs. It's written and such." But before he can finish, he's interrupted by
Dash and Dolls,
the Revival, the former tag team champs, and they came out to lay their claim to the number 1 contendership. But they came face to face with the Authors of Pain, and Authors of Pain swatted them away, and the Revival wisely backed down and lived to fight another day.
They were scared.
And Ellering got the last word in. He's like, "Oh, my Authors are going to be tag team champions."
No.
So,
nah.
The segment ended DIY. They didn't even get to speak at all. But so it goes when you're champion. You get interrupted a lot. What happened next? What happened next? Speaking of tag team matches, the first tag team match of the night was No Way Jose and Rich Swann versus Sanity.
They creep me out.
The interesting part of this whole segment was the Sanity tag team consisted of Alexander Wolf and Eric Young. No Sawyer Fulton to be found.
I wasn't mad about it. I mean, I didn't.
Eric Young was carrying a jacket. It was Sawyer Fulton's jacket, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times you'll see stuff at tapings, of course, they don't make a whole lot of sense because we don't see the vignettes. They don't add the vignettes till later when you're watching on TV, and then it makes sense. I'm hoping they explain this. Is Sawyer Fulton still in Sanity? Is he out of Sanity? Who knows? He wasn't on any of the episodes last night. So the tag team consisted of Wolf and Eric Young, and it was a fun match, I think.
Yeah.
Anything Rich Swann is fun.
I think Swann and Jose should have won.
Yeah, they're an awesome team together, and it was a fun match. Swann, of course, had a big size disadvantage. That came into play, and Sanity sort of took over, but Swann and Jose made a comeback. They looked to be sealing the deal, and then something unexpected happened. Abby's new favorite wrestler, Big Damo, made his TV debut. And basically, Damo comes out, he attacks Jose from behind. Guess the ref didn't see it, right?
Because the refs never see anything.
The refs never see anything. And Eric Young took advantage and defeated Jose and Swann. We don't know if there was any sort of collusion there. There's definitely, or what kind of storyline they're going to add there, but they're definitely not united yet. Damo walked off. He's all angry. Sanity's in the ring looking confused. Damo's on the ramp. He picks up the jacket like, you know, he's thinking about putting it on. He just throws it back down, and that was pretty much the segment. Damo's a beast.
He can leave.
He is a huge monster of a man. He's our Braun.
Gross.
And then he agrees.
No, she doesn't.
What do you think about Nikki Cross, though?
She's cool, but a little creepy.
She is my favorite part of Sanity. She's at the ring. She's yelling at fans to shut up. She's just in general acting nuts. And for me, she makes the group. But, you know, we'll see if she gets more of a presence in the women's division soon, hopefully after this Ember and Asuka thing, their inevitable clash happens. You think?
Yeah.
So speaking of women's action, next was Ember Moon versus Kimberly.
Yeah.
It was a nice surprise to see Kimberly there.
I got excited. I was screaming on the inside.
And she got a fair amount of offense. It wasn't a squash match. It was a good match. And with a little back and forth action, but ultimately she couldn't defeat Ember Moon, who took down Kimberly with their O-face, the stunner off the top rope. It was a fun match.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was good. And the night goes on. More tag team action. This time,
Still no
Otis.
TM61.
Still no TM61. It's a Heavy Machinery. Otis and Tucker Knight. They are a fun team.
I can't get into it.
She's
Tag teams are my favorite. I have to be picky.
Yeah, but they are so much fun to watch. Their energy's contagious. They're just two big dudes. This was a squash match, right?
Yeah.
They fought the team of Brandon Brandon Knight, Johnny Knockout. Most people, including myself, probably only really know Johnny Knockout from Raw when he was a jobber to Braun Strowman. He was the dude who, like...
Big sweaty man.
Big Sweaty men.
And the theme continued with Tucker and Otis.
They got the big sweaty men yet again, and
Ew.
it was an absolute one-sided match. And it was a short match, but it was a lot of fun. And it was always great to see Johnny knock out again. Maybe we'll see him back.
I like him
in
better.
Full Sail.
I like him better than Ellsworth.
I hope he can fight Big Damo next.
Ooh.
And I think that pretty much wrapped up episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode 2. What happened in episode 2, Mike Rome comes out and he announces that there's going to be 4 qualifying matches. And the winner of each qualifying match will end up in a fatal 4-way to determine a new number 1 contender for the NXT title. So, interesting theme of the episode, correct?
Yeah.
Started off with...
I know who I would have put in some of the qualifying matches.
Ho-ho.
Yes.
You can't even keep a straight face.
I would.
She would. She really would.
He'd win the tournament. The qualifying matches.
That's not what happened, though. Started off with Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, versus Eric Young from Sanity. This was a short match. Basically what happened was...
Nikki is too much.
Yeah, she couldn't control herself. Nikki came in, attacked Dillinger. The ref called the match a DQ in favor of Ty Dillinger, who advanced. And they tried to attempted a beatdown afterwards, but he outsmarted them, thwarted their attack. But who shows up again? Abby's new favorite wrestler, Big Damo.
Stop saying that.
Big Damo comes in, he annihilates Ty Dillinger with like a big front slam and follows it with a senton. And I don't know, they had the same awkward stare down between Sanity and Damo again. So again, I can't wait to see what's happening there.
I'm not so excited about it.
You should be, because we know how you are about Big Damo. And anyway, with that, Ty Dillinger is the first to advance to the Fatal 4-Way match. They followed that up with another qualifying match. Jose and took on Andrade Cien Almas.
Manny. I love him.
You love Manny. So
Yeah.
you were impressed with this match.
Yeah. It's the best one out of the qualifying matches.
Tell you, ever since Cien's become a heel, and I mean, I liked him from the moment he showed up in NXT. He's a very gifted wrestler, but when he switched heel, man, he found his groove, and he's comfortable in NXT now, and just he's great to watch.
He's 100.
He's 100, and he's tranquilo.
Very.
So he defeated Jose. It was actually a fun match. Jose's improved. He's, he is what he is. He's green. Sorry, but he is improving. But Cien finishes him with a hammerlock DDT, advancing to the Fatal 4-Way. And then we have our next qualifying match, which is Elias Sampson.
Yay, King of Song style.
Taking on Roderick Strong. I'm pro Roddy. She's pro Elias. It was a house divided. But everybody else wasn't so divided. Were they?
I mean, I love those people that were dressing up like Elias over there. It's kind of distracting.
You couldn't hear Elias' song at all.
It's so annoying. I want to hear him.
It was nuclear heat. It was like Eva Marie heat. You couldn't hear anything.
I don't get it.
But it was a good match, right?
Bad outcome, but good match.
Roddy made Elias pick up the pace. He might have tried to throw in one chinlock, maybe for a few seconds, but mostly it was a fast-paced match. So there's that. It was a good match. Roddy picked up the win.
Cheated.
No, he didn't cheat. He hit his finishing combo, the gut buster with the single leg drop kick. Ninny, come here. We're filming. Come on. Okay. So it was a good match. I like Roderick Strong. I'm really excited. I've been wanting him in NXT for a while. He's finally here, and I was glad to see he advanced in the Fatal 4-Way. Hopefully he's moving up the ladder quickly in NXT. even at the expense of Elias Sampson.
Elias is better.
So, yeah. The final qualifying match was Bobby Roode versus Oni Orkin.
I was rooting for Oni.
I was really hoping for an upset. Oni is so good. And no offense to Cesaro, but possibly the best European uppercut.
10 out of 10. Excellent,
man. When Oni goes on a uppercut party,
I'm hurt. I'm hurt by it.
Everybody hurts in the building. He's just brutal, man. If you like a hard-hitting wrestler and you haven't seen Oni, you need to look up some more of his matches. He's unfortunately, though, he couldn't get the job done.
Next time.
Bobby Roode picked up a glorious win, and he moves on. He's the final competitor in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yep.
No big surprise, although I was hoping for an upset. Then we had women's action. Sarah Bridges, formerly Crazy Mary Dobson, and she took on Peyton. What'd you think?
I liked it. I like seeing Peyton and Billy.
Shocking to me, it was a clean victory. Billy didn't interfere. It was a little disappointing to see her go clean over Sarah, but she's paying her dues, I suppose. She's still crazy.
Yeah.
She's still, screaming and such, and it was a good match. She got some nice spots in on Peyton. Vicious knee strikes. Vicious strikes she has in her arsenal. But Peyton took advantage, slowed the match, got a clean victory with a fisherman suplex. Next up, we were graced with Patrick Clark.
God.
The Velveteen Dream.
No.
Even his music now is just like the biggest Prince knockoff you can think of, and he slinks out there all sensuously looking like something.
It's such a contrast from him at Tough Enough.
You're not kidding. Or the character he was using earlier this year at house shows when he was wearing the American flag.
Face pants.
Yeah. But this was actually working for him. It's memorable. It's entertaining. And you still want him to get beat up really bad.
It was something.
He fought Shinsuke Nakamura. It was a short match. Shinsuke went to do his thing when he backs them up against the ropes and he drops his head on their chest and just dangles there. And that's when Patrick Clark decided to gyrate his hips, and the whole Full Sail arena collectively gasps. But nobody was more angry than Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke never be new again.
He got fired up, and let's say it was a short match after that. Finished with a Kinshasa. And that was the only appearance we had from Shinsuke all night, which sucked, but with the circumstances and the dates coming up and the booking, it's understandable why that was all we saw of him. And it was like that was all. Right, we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Our battery died. Now the role of Benny is being played by Molly.
Much better.
Anyway, we left off with episode 3. And episode 3 started off with women's division action.
Billy and Daria.
Daria came out looking really strong in this match. She really took the fight to Billy, and she looked really good doing it. But Peyton interfered.
Yeah.
Allowing Billy to hit the big boot on Daria for the win.
That finisher needs a change.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great wrestler. I'm not a big fan of the big boot finisher. Afterwards, they took the microphone. But again, just like with the Sampson's part, I couldn't understand a word they said. Something about putting the women's division on notice, a warning.
Something, Asuka.
Asuka. You don't want to call it Asuka, by the way. It's not a good
Billy's better than Asuka.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. But next, Authors of Pain versus Johnny Vandal and Anthony Bowens. Another very short squash match. It was actually a very scary match because as they demolished these guys, they did the double powerbomb spot, and then one of them Razor. I get their names confused.
Yeah.
I know the guys individually. But anyways, power bombs Vandal on the Bowens. And then he went to pick up Bowens to do their finishing combo, and he just crumbled, and the ref had to call the match. It was really scary. They need to take it down a notch, be a little careful, because it just looked really bad.
Yeah.
Ellering played it off. He delivered a promo while the medics tended to the guy. Luckily, Bowens got up to his feet and was able to leave that way with the help of the trainers. Fatal 4-way match to name the number one contender for the NXT title. This was match of the night, easily.
Because it had Manny.
It had Manny. He did really good. It was Manny, of course, versus Roddy, versus Ty, versus Rude. It's impossible to narrate the narrative of the match, because you know how these matches go. They had the big crazy suplex spot.
I hate that they do that in every big like triple threat or fatal 4-way.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable now, but it's always fun. Cien was the first eliminated by Roderick. A few moments later, though, he was eliminated
Thank God.
Ty Dillinger, and it came down once again to Ty Dillinger versus Rude. And before the match even happened, at the beginning of the night, I'm thinking, all right, Rude's going to win, but man, I started rooting for an upset at this point. Ty came so close every time. He hit the super kick, close pin. He hit his finisher, the fireman's carry neck breaker. Again, another really close pin. Rude kicked out. With a little shenanigans, he managed to win, and he beat Ty Dillinger.
Playing with everybody's feels.
Yeah, that sucked out. Man, my heart broke for Dillinger. He was so damn close yet again.
It's like the ref's hand with some of those near falls. It's like almost.
That close. That close. So we finished the night with NXT Tag Title match, The Revival versus DIY.
Yep.
And you guys have seen their takeover matches. You've seen them wrestle before. There's nothing I can say. You know these dudes create magic every time they're in the ring together. These two teams have such chemistry. The Revival, easily my favorite tag team. DIY is etched right in my top 5. These guys are phenomenal together. And of course, it's not going to be in link with their takeover matches, but it was still a really entertaining match. Alright. So it was a fun night at Full Sail?
Yeah. It could have used TM61 and Ho-Ho.
Well, the gang is off to Japan and Australia. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I'm talking really fast now because my battery's about to die again. We got to wrap things up.
Yep.
Alright. If you like these type of videos, I hope you'll hit that like button and subscribe, because we'll be adding more content as much as my schedule allows anyways. Check next Wednesday, because Tuesday night we're going to Wrestling 2.0, which will feature people like Sammy Callahan, Sue Young, Joey Ryan, Tessa Blanchard, I believe, is going to be there. It'll be a really fun show, and you can watch us talk about it here. You can visit the blog, masonsringsideview.blogspot.com, for a complete recap, and
follow my Redbubble, SNKXWWE, buy my merch.
And she does a lot of live tweeting at
SNKXWWE. And watch Ho-Ho matches that are important. Watch them.
Alright. Anyway, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.